Do you snore or know someone who snores, and do you have sleep apnea? Watch this video to the end to get some answers. I'm Dr. BNS, a triple board certified physician in internal medicine, pulmonary medicine, and critical care medicine. What is sleep apnea? Apnea means the temporary cessation of respiration, meaning that the person is not able to breathe and so not able to take in air. When this happens when you're sleeping, we call it sleep apnea. In order for someone to breathe, the brain has to send signals to the respiratory muscles, and this will cause the windpipe or the airway to open and for air to flow through it. When the brain fails to send signals to the respiratory muscles, then you cannot breathe. And in this case, you have what they call central sleep apnea. If, on the other hand, the brain sends signals, but the windpipe is obstructed and air is not able to flow through it, then we call this obstructive sleep apnea. Some people have both central and obstructive sleep apnea mixed, and we call that mixed sleep apnea. But our focus today will be on obstructive sleep apnea, which is the most common type of sleep apnea. So let's talk about risk factors for sleep apnea. Gender. Males have 3 times a higher risk of having sleep apnea compared to females, although peri and postmenopausal females have around equal risk of having sleep apnea as males, meaning that women who are around menopause or postmenopausal have the same risk as men. Age. As you get older, there's an increased risk of sleep apnea up to your 60s and 70s, although children can have sleep apnea, and I'll explain why that can happen. Obesity. The higher your body mass index, your BMI, the increased risk of you having obstructive sleep apnea. In fact, a weight gain of about 10% can put you at up to 6 times the risk of having sleep apnea. Craniofacial abnormalities or even abnormalities in your airway can predispose you. I'll give you examples, and I'll put some pictures here for you to see. So for people who have what they call retinathia, meaning that the chin is more posteriorly placed, or if you have underdevelopment of the jaw muscles or the jaw bones, that's the mandible, which we call micronathia, that can crowd your windpipe and make it narrow and so predispose you to sleep apnea. If you have large tonsils or adenoids or uvula, which can happen with children actually, or if you have a large tongue that crowds the windpipe, that can predispose you to sleep apnea. What are some of the signs and symptoms of sleep apnea? Daytime fatigue and sleepiness. You may find yourself falling asleep during the day. You feel like you need to take a nap. You may be sitting and watching TV or reading a book or even driving, and you find yourself falling asleep. You may have difficulties to focus. Loud snoring. Waking up and gasping for air. Maybe your bed partner or family members telling you that you look like you stop breathing when you're sleeping, what we call apneic episodes. You find yourself waking up at night intermittently and you're not even sure why you're waking up. Waking up to urinate a lot, what we call nocturia. Having morning headaches. If you find out that you have some of these risk factors that I mentioned and you have some of these signs and symptoms, go see a doctor for you to be evaluated. I'll address what to do in the next video. Knowledge is power. You have a good day. Thank you.